Hi, it's Izzy Clennell, and today I'm going to be telling you guys how to survive exam season because it's a really stressful time. And even when you're in lessons before exam season, you think, how on earth am I meant to survive it when I'm struggling just to keep up with normal homework and revision for little tests? What about when the big exams are coming up? You might have mocks and they're only a week long and you're thinking, how am I meant to survive 5 weeks of this? Well, I've got you covered because here are some tips on how I survived exam season. First of all, the best way to make it bearable is to start revising way in advance. That means that if you find it really hard to revise the night directly before a big exam, then it won't impact it as much because you will have already revised a lot. It's never too early to start revising. I know the teachers always say that, but seriously, it helps a lot, especially when it comes to exam season. It's a lot less stressful and you don't have to worry about cramming. Secondly, make sure you have your exam timetable, and as soon as you get it, don't lose it. Put it up right next to your desk, on the wall, on your wardrobe, on your door, on your mirror, somewhere where it's easy to see at all times and you're not going to lose it. Don't just keep it at the bottom of your bag. Take a picture of it on your phone if you want. Put it as your wallpaper if you really want. You don't have to memorize it, but the closer it is to you, that's just one less thing to stress about. Thirdly, make sure you know where your exams are and you know what times they are. So for example, at our school we have mentor in the mornings, but for our morning exams we're meant to skip mentor and go straight to our exam. If you don't know that that's the case, then that's going to make it a lot more stressful. If you know where and when your exams are, not just as in have it on a piece of paper, make sure you read it through and understand what that means, then that will help a lot. Especially if you have like several halls in your school and it doesn't specify, then just go and ask your exams advisor or exams officer or whatever they're called. They've got everything under control and they do so much behind the scenes. Fourthly, make sure you have the right exam equipment. It's not a good way to start an exam by opening your pencil case and realising you haven't got a pencil or your pen's the wrong colour or you don't have a ruler, because that's just going to waste time in the exams. So at the beginning of exam season, make sure you've got spares of everything. Spare borrows, spare pens, spare pencils, ruler, protractor, whatever you're going to need in exams. Because seriously, it's just going to be stressful if you're checking every day if you've got it or not. And make sure you know which exams you need to calculate it and don't need to calculate it for. Because for my mocks, I'd often have to sit down, then get back up again and go back to my bag to get my calculator. But once you sit down, you can't go back to your bag. So it's really important you know what equipment you need and have it before exam season, probably a lot before exam season. Also, it's important that you know the exam board rules. For example, did you know that you can't have highlighters in the exams? So in English, you can't highlight the questions, you just have to underline it. You're allowed to do it on things that you're not handing in and not writing answers on, like texts, but not your actual exam question, because that messes everything up because they scan the papers in. Another good thing to do before your exam is to know what the exam structure is like. Now this might seem really obvious, but if you're not, aiming for high grade, you may have just worked on the content, not the actual structure, and knowing that, this might throw you off. So make sure, especially like in English, there's specific structures. In geography paper 3, a lot of people got really confused about what they were meant to be doing and what they weren't meant to be doing, because there's different topics and each school only learns some of them and it varies from school to school, so they give you all the questions but you don't have to do them all. And make sure you know what you're meant to be doing in the exam, because sometimes it isn't really clear. You're in exam season. This seems obvious, but make sure you're eating. What's way worse than stress eating is not eating at all. Make sure you're eating 3 meals a day. Make sure you're eating a really solid breakfast. Some people survive without it, but I don't know what I'd do without a big breakfast. If you want, you can have snacks before the exams. If your school has a canteen and you're feeling a bit hungry, then just queue up, buy some food, because trust me, you're going to rather you did than you didn't. Also, sleep. Now, in my family, sleeping is very important. So you've got to get to bed on time and such, but in most households, you're more in control of your own sleeping patterns. So try to go to bed early and make sure you get enough sleep. You should be getting between 7 and 9 hours. If you get any less than 6.5, you will not be functioning properly. You may think, oh yeah, I always survive on 5 hours sleep. Well, you'll be doing amazingly if you double that amount of time. Another thing is to have an emotional outlet. This doesn't necessarily mean painting or writing poems or something like that. It could just mean looking at the memes, because honestly, sometimes you get home from an exam, your friends don't want to talk about it, cool. But you go on Twitter, you check out the memes, and you may think this is a waste of time, but it's actually not. If you're feeling angry about an exam question, there's gonna be hundreds of other people angry about that. You relate to it, you retweet the memes, you make some memes. It's great to have other people to complain with who are in the same boat as you and don't mind talking about it, because honestly, that helps a lot. You also need to unwind. During exam leave, after like my last exam of the day, I'd watch 1 or 2 episodes of the In-Betweeners or Humans. That really helped, because if you just come out of a geography exam, you need to get revising with business. You've got to drain your last exam from your brain before you fill your head and prepare it for the next one, because it's quite hard if you just come out of exam, you're like, right, back on the revision. Because obviously it's good to do as much revision as you can, but you do need some time to unwind between exams, even if it's just 15-20 minutes to completely forget about it. It makes a big difference. Another thing is to reward yourself. Finishing all the questions, not falling asleep, or just completing an exam, just sitting an exam. Whatever you're proud of, or whatever you need motivating for, find a reward. For example, I had a packet of rhubarb and custards, and I had one after each day I had an exam. That just got me going, because I'd look at it and be like, do I want to feel guilty eating that rhubarb and custard tomorrow because I didn't deserve it because I didn't revise hard enough, or do I want it to feel like a well-earned rhubarb and custard? There's nothing worse than guilty sweets. Well, there are a few things worse, but you know what I mean. Another thing is take the day off if you burn out. Now, I don't remember whether it was before or after a chemistry exam, but it was one of the two. I just got home and I was just conked out. I just was like, no, nothing's going to go into my brain. And that's okay. There's no point sitting there trying to get things in your brain when you know it's not going to work. Just relax, okay? The reason I was able to do this was because I was revising at the weekends for my exams in that following week, so that if the night before I was unable to revise, I still would have done some last minute revision. This helps so much because it puts less pressure on cramming, and there's nothing more stressful than trying to revise and not being able to. Sometimes you do need to take the night off. Even if you've got 1 or 2 exams tomorrow, sometimes that's what you need. You need to listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your brain, listen to your soul. I don't know. The final thing is keep going out with your friends. You don't want to forget how to socialise. You don't want to forget how to keep yourself happy, healthy, active. You don't want to just be a smelly lump in the corner of your room, scuttling back and forth between school. You want to keep yourself presentable and social. So during exam season, I had 3 birthday parties. Went around someone's house, and we also had like a squad end of year party get together thing. As long as it's not getting excessive, like staying out late the night before an exam or going out every single day, it's fine. It's probably better that you're social than you're not. And also it's good for your friends as well, because they'll just be stuck with their thoughts, tormenting them, just like you might be. So it's good to just socialise together, take your mind off things, have some fun together, unwind. There'll be loads and loads of people up and down the country feeling just like you are. You might feel like you're drowning, like you're suffocating. You may feel just tired. You may feel like an unconscious robot doing monotonous tasks and revising all day. But if you're socialising with your friends, you'll get to talk about how you're feeling. That might sound a bit weird, but it does help, and it helps you unwind, have fun, and just reflect if you want to, ignore the exams if you don't want to. So some of these tips are more obvious than others, but if you follow all of them, then your exam season will be bearable and you will survive it. Trust me. It's going to be fine. These tips will help you do better than you expect, and it will just make everything so much easier. Please take them on board. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment what exams you're coming up to. If you've got a test tomorrow, what is it? That sort of thing. You can share, subscribe, and watch my other videos. Thanks for watching.